Okay, hi, welcome back to PSLE Concept Mastery Primary 5. So today we are going to look at area of triangles. So this topic is one of the topics that students usually struggle. What do they struggle in? They struggle in identifying the base or the height. So when you cannot identify the height properly or correctly, and that's when you start to make a lot of mistakes in finding the area of a triangle. But there's a quick way to get the base and the height without making any mistakes. So let's look at the lesson, all right, and let's see what can we learn from the lesson. So how do you identify the heights of the triangle given the base? So if you look carefully at the base, now the base is always one of the three sides of the triangle. So a triangle has three sides. So which means that if you look at this side, and this side, so there are three sides. The base can be any one of the three sides, but it definitely cannot be the dotted line, because it's not one of the three sides. So if the base is over here, then the height must always be right angle to the base, right? That's why the height is the dotted line, which is the right angle to the base. Alright, so always remember, the base is always one of the three sides of the triangle. So I have another base over here, right? So where's the height? You look for a right angle box. If you can see a right angle box, then the height will be at the right angle to the base. So you look for L shape. So if you notice carefully, perpendicular lines, the height and the base, they actually form a pair of perpendicular lines. So you may want to look for L shape. Okay, L shape to locate the base and the height. Okay, then how about the next triangle? Now the base is here, which looks a little bit tricky already. Then where's the height? Now the height is a bit harder to see. So this is when you need to use a ruler. So you have to use a ruler to find out where is the height. And it's important that you always use a ruler if you're unsure where's the height. For example, if you look at my ruler, how to recognize the height? You place the ruler onto the base. Okay, make sure the ruler is sitting flat on the base. Then you shift the ruler up and down. Do you see a line that's parallel with the base? And that is your height already. And that's how you recognize the height, by using a ruler. And then how about the other triangle? The base is over here. So the height must be, so same thing, you can actually use your ruler to find the height. So take your ruler, put on the base, shift along the base, and look for a line that's parallel. So there's a dotted line that's parallel, and that is the height of the triangle. Okay, so for the whole lesson, we'll be using the ruler, right? Once you get better, then there's no need to use a ruler to find the heights. So identify the height of each triangle given the base. Alright, so if you look at number 1, the base is over here, BD. So where's the height? Well, there's no need to use a ruler because I can see a right angle box, and then this dotted line is right angle to the base, so the height is AC. Okay, so how do you call the line? You call the line by the letters, right? You have to use AC to call out the line. And then what is the next triangle? Now the base is AC over here, the base. So the base is always one of the three sides of the triangle. And if you can see a right angle box, then the height will be right angle to the base. So the height will be BD or DB. Okay, all right, let's go on to the next one. Okay, question number 3. All right, so let me just flash my ruler. And okay, QR is the base. So this is the base. Then where's the height? There are so many lines there. So you take your ruler, all right, take your ruler, and you let the ruler sit, all right, sit onto the what? Sit onto the base. And then you shift the ruler left and right. And do you see any line that's parallel with the ruler until you come to here? There's a line here. So that line is the height of the triangle. So your height will be PS. Okay, so that's how you look for the height of the triangle. Alright, how about PQ? Now PQ, let me use a different color. PQ is the base now. So remember, the base has to be one of the three sides. So PQ is the base, one of the three sides of the triangle. And where's the height? Now instead of trying to turn the paper here and there, you should be using your ruler. No need to turn the paper around. Just take your ruler, put it on the base, shift the ruler along the line. Do you see any line that's parallel with the ruler? Yeah, there's a line that's parallel with the ruler. So that is the height of the triangle. Okay, so the base is PQ, then the height must be TR. Okay, And also be aware, all right, be also take notes. If you're looking at this triangle, all right, this triangle, then you have to make sure that the height is as tall as the triangle, right, from here to there, right, the height is as tall. Sometimes you may see a line that's also parallel with the ruler, but it's higher or taller, right, it's longer. So you have to check, make sure how high is the triangle is the same as the it's the same as the triangle, which means that if you see a line that's longer but is too big already, then most likely it's not the height. Alright, later on you will know what I mean. Alright, maybe it's a bit confusing now, but you will see what I mean later, alright, when I show you some more problems. Okay, let's look at SQ. Where's the base SQ? Now, the base SQ is over here. Then where's the height? There are many lines, okay, many lines. So what I will do is take my ruler and then put the ruler on the base, shift, right, shift left up and down, and you see a line that's parallel, right, parallel with the ruler. So the height is RP, or you can call it PR. Okay, now the base is PQ, right, PQ. Alright, so let me use a different color. So the base is PQ, which is this side, right, this side. Then the height must be, so you take your ruler, alright, of course there's a right angle, right, you can see a right angle box. But if you're not sure, you can take your ruler and just put over there. And then shift it along the red line. And is there any line that's parallel with the ruler? Yeah, which is your ST. So the line ST is parallel with the ruler, and that is the height of the triangle. Okay, now let's now go to problems. Or is there any more? I think there's one more. Okay, there's some more below. Okay, now GD is the base. So this is the base, which is one of the three sides of the triangle. So where is the height? Okay, now, well, some of you can tell me the height must be over here, right? The height is your ED, and you are correct. Okay, for those who are still not sure or cannot find the height, then Mr. need to ask you, did you use a ruler, or do you try to see in your mind what's the height? If you try to see in your mind, then that's where you wouldn't be able to do well. All right, you need to use a ruler to see for yourself. All right, so many students they don't use a ruler. All right, they try to guess, or they think that the height is correct without using the ruler to test, right, whether is it right angle. So how do I use my ruler to test whether ED is the height? You take the ruler, put it on the base, and shift the ruler along the base, and you see a line that's parallel. Yes, there's a line that's parallel with the ruler, which is your FH, right, FH. So which means that your answer is not Mr. is yeah, okay, Mr. Mickham. Alright, those of you who say ED, your answer is wrong. So it's actually FH. See? FH. So how do you get FH? So the base is GD, right? The base. Let me just go through this one more time. The base is GD. So what happened? So you have to take your ruler, put on the base, and shift. Alright, shift along the base. And is there any line that's parallel with the ruler, which is over here, which is your FH. So your FH is the height. Not ED, right? Those of you who say ED, that's where, okay, right, you get your answer wrong. So how about GF? So same thing, right? You mark out the base is here, and if that's the base, then what's the height? The height will be, okay, the height will be here. You take your ruler, put on the base, shift left, right, and this is your base already. The line that is parallel with the ruler. So if you see a line that's parallel with the ruler, then that's the height of the triangle, right, if the base is GF. Okay, so I hope by now you should be quite clear on how to find the heights. Okay, one last one. The base is DE. Alright, DE. Of course, there's a right angle box. So if there's a right angle box, then you know that this line, alright, this line must be the heights already. So there's no need to use a ruler because there's a right angle box. So you can call it DG or GD. And if the base is GE, okay, so let's look at the base, which is GE. Then where's the height? Then the height will be here because there's a right angle box. Right? The height will be the dotted line. Alright, and the dotted line is right angle to the base. So every time you see a right angle box, the height is somewhere near. Alright, it's very near. So you get DF. So the height is DF. Okay, so let's go to our problem solving. Okay, so find the area of the shaded triangle. Now, there is a formula that you need to remember. So you always start with half. Alright, half times base times height. In school, your teacher will ask you to have a paper, cut, and do something with the paper to show why is half times base times height. But in this lesson, I can't show you that. Right? I can't show you how to cut the paper, how to prove it. But you have to remember this formula: half times base times height. The next thing to take note is students don't put half in front. They will always have base times height, and then they forgot to divide by 2 because they don't put the half in front. So I will advise you, before you start your steps, you always put the half in front. Alright, half times base times height. Then you will never forget to divide by 2 if you want to find the area. So half times base. So what's the base? The base is the the horizontal line. Okay, and why you want to choose that as the base? Because the height is right angle to the base. That's why you want to choose that as the base. Can I choose 8 cm as the base? Then where's the height? Are you gonna tell me that the height is 5 cm, even though it looks like a right angle over here? Does it look like a right angle? We are not sure. So if the question is not, if the question never says, you cannot assume. You can't assume that it's right angle. So can I choose this as a base? Then the height. Then what's the height? We can't find the height because we cannot assume that there is a right angle there. So which means that if there's a right angle box you can see very clearly, then the height must be your 4 cm already, and your base must be 9. So every time you choose your base, alright, you want to choose your base, you have to make sure that you can also get your height. If you choose your base and you cannot find your height, then you choose the wrong side already. You choose the wrong side to be the base. So this is the correct side that we should choose, because when you choose 9 cm, you can find the height. The height is 4 cm. So be careful with what you choose as the base. And no calculator, so what do? You learn to cancel, divide by 2, and then divide by 2. So what's the area of this triangle? Then you circle the numbers you never cancel. So 1 times 9 times 2, that'll be 18. And then 1 times 1 times 1, that'll be 1. And the area of the triangle is 18 cm square. Okay, let's go on to the next question. Now, this figure looks a little not so straightforward. So how do you find the area of the shaded triangle? Now, first of all, you need to know what is the triangle you are finding. There are a few triangles in this diagram. You have to look at the right triangle, which is the red color triangle. Then you have to choose your base, right? What's the base? Do you want to choose the 8 cm as the base? Then can you find the height? If you can't find the height, then that's the wrong side to choose. Do you want to choose this as the base? This is even worse. There's no number there. You don't see any number there. So that cannot be the base. Then you see here, there is a 4 cm. Then where's the height? So can this base give you a height? Then you take your ruler, right? You take your ruler and then do what you did just now, and you use the ruler to find the height of the triangle. So take your ruler, put it along the base, and shift it left, up and down, and see whether any line is parallel with the ruler. Yeah, there's a line that is parallel with the ruler. So that is the height of the red color triangle, right? Okay, so now you got your height, you got your base already. Then you need to apply your formula. So you start with half. So you always start with half, then the base, always followed by the order. I know some of you will tell me, I would like to write half times height times base. Nothing wrong with half times height times base, but it's always better to follow the order, alright, the order, so that you don't get confused every time. Then every time you write your formula, you will not forget so easily, because you always remember to half times base times height, right? There's only one fixed way to write. Okay, and you keep doing this, you will never forget how to get the area of the triangle. So half times base times height, half times 4 times 6. And in the exam, you don't want to 6 times 4, 24, divide by 2. Try to cancel to make the number smaller. Right, so 6 divided by 2, you get 3. And the numbers you never cancel, you circle them. So 1 times 4 times 3, you will get 12. Then 1 times 1 times 1, you get 1. So what's the area of the shaded triangle? That will be 12 cm square. Okay, so a lot of things to take notes when you find the area of the triangle. And if you understand all this, then the rest will be simple. When you do the harder problems, you should know how to start, where to start. Okay, let's go to the next question. Alright, now how do you find the shaded parts? Now in area and parameter, if you see 2 markings here, what does it tell you? It tells you that that you have two sides that are equal. So this side and this side, they are 16, right? It's also 16. So 16 minus 5, that will give you 11 meter. All right, you want to find the shaded part. All right, so you need to know what are you finding, which is the shaded triangle. So make sure you know what you're finding, and don't get confused. All right, about finding the area of the triangle. All you need to know is which side of the triangle do you want to use as the base. Do you want to use 22 meter as the base? Then you make sure that you can have a height, or you make sure that you can see the height. There's no height there, right? You take your ruler, put on the base, or put onto this line. You find that there's no line that's parallel with the ruler. Do you want to choose this as the base? Also cannot, because there's no number. So finally you are left with this side. So this must be the base. And if that is the base, then where is the height? Then you take your ruler, put the ruler on your chosen side, and shift up down. Can you see there's a line that's parallel, which is 16 meter? So that's the height of the triangle. So now you can write down half times base times height. Alright, so shortcut. Alright, paper 1, you don't want to spend too much time doing working. You should be cancelling. Divide by 2, divide by 2. Then you circle the numbers you never cancel. So you have 1 times 11 times 8, that will be 88. And then circle all these numbers, and you multiply them, and the area of the triangle is 88 meters square, which is the shaded part. Okay, let's go down. Let's go down to the next one. And now you can see a composite figure. What is a composite figure? It means that irregular shapes. So how do you find the shaded parts? Okay, now method here, right? One of the methods to find area and perimeter is to break up the composite figure into regular shapes, and then you find the area of each regular shape, and then you add them together. For example, you look at the shaded part, it is irregular, but you can actually cut it into two regular shapes, which is already done for you. So you find the area of this triangle. Alright, so what's the area of this triangle? There is a right angle box already, right? Right angle box. So which means that the height is very near. If this is the base, then the height must be the line, the long line here, which is your 11, right? 11 cm. So what's the area of this triangle? So can you find the area of this triangle, which is half times base. That's why I will always put down the base first, half times base, then followed by height. Alright, so that you don't jumble up. Alright, so that you always remember that you need to write like this, and then you will never forget. So half times 4 times 11, and shortcut. So you cancel and you cancel, and the area of the triangle is 22 cm square. And then you see there's another triangle here, another triangle. So once again, there is a right angle box, so the height and the base must be quite nearby, quite near. So if this is your base, then your height must be your 5 meter because of the right angle box. Alright, so then you have half times base and then times height, and then you cancel, and you cancel divide by 2, and 10 divide by 2. Okay, then what do you get? So you circle the numbers you never cancel. So you have 5 times 5, that will be 25, and then 1 times 1 times 1. And what's the area of the shaded triangle? 25 cm square. Okay, so this part, 25 cm square. Okay, so now can you find the total shaded? So you take, what do you take? You take 22, right? 22 cm square, which is the area of this blue triangle, and then you plus 25. And that's how you get the total shaded part, which is 47 cm square. Got it? Alright, so you see a composite figure now. So what do you do with the composite figure? You cut it into regular shapes, and then you find the area of each regular shape, and then you add them together. So that is also a method. Okay, let's go to the next one. Alright, find the area of the shaded parts. Okay, now every time there's a lesson here again. Every time you see a shaded part and it's regular, right? It's a regular shape. What is a regular shape? Triangles, squares, rectangles, circles, semicircles, all these are regular shapes. Then do I need to apply methods? Methods like what? Like some of you will tell me, oh, I can form a rectangle, right? And then I can find the area of this triangle, which is the unshaded, and then I can also find the area of this unshaded, and then I take the whole rectangle and you minus away the two unshaded triangles to get the shaded part. Well, Mr. Ong say, yes, you can do that, but no need. Okay, there's no need. Why no need? You apply this method, which is to create a rectangle, and then you take out what you don't want. You apply this method when the shaded part is ugly, or when the shaded part is not regular shape. But if you look at this, if you look at the shaded part, it is a regular shape. Right, you can see it is already a regular shape. So which means that you do not need to do a lot of steps. All you have to do is just find the area of the triangle, one step, because it's already a regular shape, right? Okay, some students, they do a lot of steps, but Mr. Ong just tell you, this is a regular shape already. So you just have to find the base. What is the base? And make sure when you choose the side as the base, you can also find the height. So where's the height? The height must be over here using your ruler, right? Ruler, right? You take your ruler. Okay, let me just draw a bit nicely. So if I use my ruler, then where's the height? So if I choose this as the base, which is the arrow sign there, then the height must be see, you can see there are a few lines that are parallel. So which one is the correct line that's parallel? Now you can see that the height of the triangle is from the top all the way down. So you don't want to choose 4 cm, right? 4 cm is short, right? 4 cm is too short. So you choose the wrong line, right? So which number should you choose? You shift your ruler and you can see there is a line here that is parallel with the ruler and also the same height as the triangle, right? Same. So the height must be 8 cm. And then what's the base? The base must be 8 plus another 4. So that will give you 12 cm. Alright, so now you got the base and the height, and the next step is to apply what you learned, half times base and then times height. And then you change it into a fraction, then you cancel, divide by 2, and then you circle the numbers you never cancel, and you multiply them, and then you circle the numbers you never cancel, and you multiply them, and your area of the shaded triangle is 48 cm square. One step. So there's no need to do a lot of steps if the shaded part is a regular shape. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Now, how about this one? Again, you can look at the shaded part is an irregular shape. So when you want to find area of ugly shapes, which I look at this ugly shape, this shaded part that is not regular, then how do I find? There's a method here again, right? Method is what? Every time you do area and perimeter, you should always be looking for regular shapes to help you to find what is not regular. Like you should be looking at this triangle and find the area of this triangle, right? And then you should be also looking at this triangle, which is smaller, and find the area. And then you take the bigger triangle and then you minus a smaller triangle. So what is minus? Minus means you cut out the small triangle. So when you cut away the small triangle, what is left behind? Which is the shaded part. Alright, so let's find the area of the big triangle. So half times base. The base of the big triangle is 14, right? 14. And then where's the height? Take your ruler, right? Okay, your ruler, and you put it on the base and you shift the ruler, and be careful, you are finding the area of the big triangle. So is the height 8 cm? Cannot be, right? Even though even though this line is parallel with the ruler, but is that the correct height? That's what Mr. is trying to tell you. You may see some lines that are parallel with the ruler, but you have to be careful. So which is the correct height? This is not the correct height. The correct height is over here, which is your 18 cm, as tall as the big triangle. So half times base times height, and then you cancel 2, divide by 1, and then divide by 14 divided by 2 is 7. Then you circle the numbers that you never cancel, and what do you get? So you will get 7 times 18. So you have to do working for this already, and that will be 126, and then you circle the numbers you never cancel. That will be 1, and then your big triangle is 126 cm square. That's a big triangle. Alright, how do you get the small triangle? Now, small triangle, the base is 14, right? So half times base times, alright, now the height is what? The height is now your 8 cm already, right? Not the 18 cm, it's now the 8 cm. So you multiply by 8, And always remember to cancel, right? Cancel to make your numbers smaller. Because paper 1, you only have 1 hour. So you spend too much time to do your working, then you can't complete the rest. So you divide by 2, and then you circle the numbers you never cancel. And then you have 7 times 8, which is 56. And you circle the numbers and you multiply them. That'll be 1. And then what's the area of the small circle? Small triangle, which is 56 cm square. And then how do you find the shaded part? Then you take the big triangle and you cut away the small triangle. So you have 126 minus 56, and you get the shaded part, which is 70 cm square. Okay, so you can see it's quite easy to do area of triangles as long as you know how to find the heights. Alright, how to choose the base, and then how to get the height after you choose the base. Okay, first step is to get the base. Alright, then once you get the base already, then see whether the base can lead you to the height. If the base cannot give you the height, or you choose a side that is the base as the base that you want, but you can't get the height, then you may need to change your base, change your side. Alright, so your base must bring you to the height. Okay, whatever you choose, you must have the base and the height. Then you can find the area. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Last question, last page. So find the area of the shaded triangles or shaded parts. Now, then you tell me, Stone, oh, this is a regular shape. Okay, it's a regular shape, so I don't need to apply methods. I can just find the area of this triangle. One step to find the area of this triangle. Yes, you're right. It's a very nice shape. It's a nice regular shape, but you have a problem. The problem is what? No number. There's no number on any of the 3 sides. So how to find the area of the triangle? That's when you have to apply your methods already. You have to apply what? You have to look at the whole figure, which is a regular shape. Okay, look at the whole rectangle, and then you remove all the regular shapes that you don't want, which is all the triangles, all the white color triangles. So always look out for regular shapes and use the regular shapes to help you find what you want. Okay, so what's the whole rectangle area? So you have the length, which is 9 times breadth, 9 times 6. So the whole rectangle is 54 cm square. Okay, so now we have to find one by one all these triangles that we don't want. Okay, now in primary 4, you learn about squares and rectangles. Squares and rectangles have right angles at the corners, right? So what is the base and what's the height? The base is 9 and the height is 4. So you have to remember your P4 topics already. So half times 9 times 4. And what's the area of this red triangle? You can quickly work out. Divide by 2, divide by 2, and then 1 times 9 times 2, that will be 18. And then 1 times 1 times 1, that will be 1. So the area of the red triangle here is 18 cm square. Okay, next one. What is the area of this red triangle? Same thing, rectangles have right angles at the corners, so the base is 10 and the height must be 2, because 6 minus 4, you get 2, right? 6 on the other side here. Alright, so half times 10 times 2. Well, if it's too easy, then you don't have to cancel. 10 times 2, 20, 20 divided by 2, you get 10. So, paper 1, you have to do it fast. Okay, do fast. Of course, not recklessly, but do fast. Cut down the working. Too simple, then don't have to write all the steps if it's too simple. Okay, then what else? How about this one? Can you find the area of this triangle? So right angles at the corner again. So the base must be 10 minus 9. That will be 1 cm, right? So the base is 1. So half times 1 times height. Okay, so every time you can see a right angle, the base and the height are near the right angle, near the box, and you will get 3 cm square. So this is the area of the small triangle. Alright, then how do you find the shaded? So you add up all the unshaded, right? 18 plus 10 and then plus 3, right? 18 plus 10 plus 3. So 18 plus 10 and then plus 3, you will get how many? You will get 31, right? 31 cm square. And then you take the whole rectangle area, which is your 54 cm square, and then you minus all the triangles that you don't want, minus all the white color triangles, and you will get how many? So let's take 54 minus 31, and you will get 23. 23 cm square, which is the shaded, right, the shaded part that you want. So lesson here. What's the lesson here? Now the lesson here is, even though the shaded triangle, the shaded part is a very nice regular shape, however, you can't find the area of this triangle because there's no number. There's no number on any of the any side of this triangle. You can see the green lines. There's no number on any one of the three sides. So there's no way you can find the area of the triangle. So you have to use something else. You have to do something else. You have to apply what you learn, your methods, find the whole figure, right, and then remove all the things that you don't want, right? Remove all the regular shapes that you don't want to get the shaded. Okay, so that's how you do for this question. All right, let's go on to the next one, the last one. Same thing, you can see that there's a very irregular shaded part. It's very hard to find this shaded part. If you keep focusing on the shaded part, you should not be focusing on the shaded part, even though you're asked to find the shaded part. You should be focusing on regular shapes. So Mr. Ong keep telling you how to do well for area and perimeter. Focus on regular shapes, right, which is your rectangle, triangles. So can you find the whole figure? What's the whole area? So you have 14 times 11, right? This the side here is 11. So you have 14 times 11. So you have to do your working. And the area of the whole figure is 154. All right, what else? Any regular shapes? Any other regular shapes I can focus on? Here, triangle. Can you find this triangle? So rectangle has right angles at the corners. So what's the base? You take 14 minus 3 minus 5. That will give you 6 cm. Okay, the base is 6 cm. Then what's the height? That will be 4 plus 7 is 11. 11 minus 5, the height is 6 cm. All right, now in paper 1, okay, paper 1, we want to cut down the time, right, to do a lot of steps. So you can do something like this, half times 6 times 6, right? So if you're quick, right, if you're good in your math, right, then you can do some quick calculation. But if you're not good in your math, then Mr. will advise you to show the working so that you don't make any mistakes. And then you just do same thing all over again, right? You cancel, divide by 2, divide by 2, then you circle, 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 multiply them, you get 18, and then circle, 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 and you get 1. And the area of the triangle here is 18, right? 18 cm square. Okay, now those are faster, right? Those are faster. Then what do? All right, for example, I want to find this triangle, all right, this triangle. So what's the base? Well, the base is maybe 14 cm. Then what's the height? The height must be, you can draw your own height, right? If the line is missing, you can actually draw your own line. So what's that line? Okay, let's find that line. So there's a 9. Can you see a 9 here? So you take 11, then you minus 9. So the height must be 2. All right, and then you tell me, oh, I know what's the area of this triangle. Half times 14 times 2. And you tell me 14. Okay, your answer is correct. So the area of this triangle is actually 14, right? 14 cm square. All right, for those who are not so good, all right, you are a bit, you want to be more careful, then please write down like this: half times 14 times 2, half times base times height. So you always have to follow the order, half times base times height. And then do the same thing, right? Cancel, cancel, and then you will get 14 out of 1, and the area is 14 cm square. So you got 14 cm square, you got 18 cm square, and then the last one will be this one, okay, the last one. So how do you find this? This one. This one looks a little harder already because you have to find half times base times height, okay, and there is a decimal. All right, so do your working. All right, I want to skip the working so we can do a bit faster. So you can't cancel also, right? You cannot cancel. So 2 divided by 2, 5 cannot divide by 2, 7 also cannot divide by 2. Then what do? Then you multiply the numerators, and then you multiply the denominators, then do your long division. So what is 35 divided by 2? That will be 17.5. Okay, 17.5 cm square. Okay, so I got the area of this, right? The area of this triangle. Okay, so how do you find the shaded part? You add up all the triangles, right? So you have 14 plus 18 plus 17.5. All right, so there's a lot of steps here. So this can be a paper 2 question, right? So it can be a 3-mark question. So 14 plus 18 plus 17.5, and you will get 49.5 cm square, which is the area of what you don't want. Okay, you don't want all these triangles. So what do you do to get the shaded part? You take the whole area, which is 154, and you cut away those triangles you don't want. Minus. Cut away means you minus 49.5. And what is the shaded part that you want? So 154 minus 49.5, and your answer will be 104.5 cm square, which is the shaded part. Okay, alright, so finally we come to the end of this simple topic, right? It's not really very simple, but it's also not very hard to master. All you have to know is to able to choose your base correctly. Able to choose your base. Your base that you choose must be able to bring you to the height. If you choose the side, if you choose the base, one of the side as the base, but you cannot find the height, then you will have a problem trying to find the area of triangle. So whichever side you choose, you have to make sure you can also get the height. And how do you get the height? By using the ruler, right? Use the ruler to help you to find the height of the triangle. Okay, so we are done with the area of triangles. So in the next topic, we'll be doing a new topic, the next lesson. So stay tuned to the next topic. So see you next week.